seat of your pants writer or outliner. How many people do you know that have an expressed interest in writing a novel in their lifetime? My guess is the great majority of you know someone, other than yourselves, who has an interest in writing. Whether it's for publication or their own personal interest, hundreds of thousands, if not millions in the world have an interest in writing a novel. So what's stopping them? What's stopping all these people from accomplishing their dream? My guess is most people have no earthly idea how difficult it is to write a novel. People are unaware of the amount of study time required to learn all the aspects that go into creating a novel. Prior to diving into writing the novel, I suspect many people believe it's nothing more than writing a story. That is, until they put pen to paper and after just a few lines come up blank. It's not writer's block. It's not being educated on what it takes to write a novel. But not everyone quits from the start. There are some who begin to work through and study the basic elements of a story. They feel confident enough to understand what's required to begin a novel. They have a basic plot idea and they sit down to write. Do you want to know if you are a seat-of-the-pants writer or an outliner? It's not about what's right or wrong. It's about, what's most comfortable for you. Some people could sit down and knock out a book in 3 weeks. Amanda Hocking, she's one of those people. She writes good books and has a huge readership. Then you have comprehensive outliners such as John Grisham. He gets his stories down in great detail before he even sits down to write the book. So how do you know if you're a seat-of-the-pants writer or an outliner? Sit down with your idea and your basic understanding of what's needed in a novel and begin to write. Write in chronological order and see how far you get. Can't make it past the first few scenes or chapters? Or have you written yourself into a corner with no way out? Of the people who took the time to learn the basic elements of a novel and what's needed, most quit right there. They haven't created a solid enough base to which to write their novel, and that little person we all have in our head comes out and says, "Forget it, this is too tough, I'm moving on." If you had an outline, you likely would have continued and been staring at a freshly completed rough draft a few short months later. You would likely have benefited from a comprehensive outline to keep you on the right path. But how do you make an outline? How do you weave a storyline through plot and subplot while paying attention to the major events in a story and create the attractive elements your readers need? It's not very easy, that's for sure. And of the people who studied enough to understand what's needed in a novel and have found that an outline is best for them, many quit right here. Outlining a story is hard work. It takes the basic understanding I mentioned above, and it takes experience. A series of trial and error before you get something that is worthy of your first draft. Unless you're really determined to write this first draft, people throw up their hands and say, "Hey, I tried, but it's not for me." Imagine how many great ideas never turned into novels due to the study time needed to make it readable. This is where this course comes in.